Hello everybody. I'm Jamie Trull, your favorite CPA and profit strategist. And today we're going to be talking about reinvesting into your business. And specifically, I'm going to talk about what it means and what it actually is to reinvest into your business and give you a few things to think about when it comes to deciding whether something is a good investment or not. So let's jump on in. Now, when we talk about what reinvesting is, when you're talking about reinvesting into a business, it means taking some of the money that your business made and reinvesting it, i.e. using it intentionally in your business to make more money. But we're not talking about just the general money that you spend within your business and in your business operations to run your business as it is. Reinvesting is really about thinking about something intentional that will help you grow or scale your business. So not every dollar that you spend in your business is a reinvestment. In fact, a lot of that is just general operating expenses to keep the lights on. So when we talk about reinvesting, it is much more intentional. And usually it is things that we expect to have a return on that investment, right? That's why it's called a reinvestment. So putting that money towards something that we expect that money to double, triple maybe, or even more than that by investing in that thing. So for example, if we were to hire a person, we wouldn't hire somebody if that meant we would actually make less money at the end of the day. Maybe initially, but ultimately the purpose of hiring is so that we can grow and scale. We can reach more people, take on more customers, right? And really that is the key. Maybe we can sell more if we're hiring a salesperson. Maybe we get more capacity to use in our business and service our clients because someone's taking over admin work for us. The intention for really hiring anyone in our business is to reinvest into people. And that's one really great way to reinvest. Now you want to do it at the right time and you want to make the right smart decisions and you want to be able to afford that person because again, typically that reinvestment, especially when we're talking about people, might take a little while that person is getting up and running and learning the ropes before you see the return on that investment. But the point is that you're investing money up front with the hopes and the belief and the intention to create more money from that investment, okay? That is what differentiates reinvesting in your business versus just spending money in your business. Now, why is reinvesting so important? Well, reinvesting is important because that's how you grow. It's very difficult to grow a business past a certain point, at least, if you aren't intentionally reinvesting in it. That's where you see businesses kind of plateau at a particular space. Usually it's at a place where you might be working constantly and you are at capacity, right? And until you start investing in things to perhaps free up your time, right? Or perhaps make additional money that you can reinvest, you then are not going to really be able to grow past that point. So a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck. Oftentimes it's in that $50,000, $100,000, up to maybe $250,000 in revenue that's really hard to grow past, right? Because you kind of hit that ceiling that's hard to get past. So typically what we need to do is get really intentional at that point in time. And we can't just look at all money we're spending in our business the same. Yes, we need to keep a business budget. Yes, we need to be a good steward with the money in our business and make smart financial decisions. But that doesn't always mean just cutting all of your spending. In fact, sometimes we overcut our spending in our business because maybe we are handling it the same way that we are taught to handle personal finances. And instead, it makes it very difficult to grow a healthy business. Now, when we talk about what really reinvesting back into our business looks like, for most people, that's going to be things maybe like hiring. That might be purchasing an asset so that you can do your job quicker. So for example, if you are a handmade maker and you purchase a piece of equipment that helps you to be able to make two things in the time it used to make one, that is an investment because even though there's an upfront cost, you expect that time savings and the ability to sell more and meet a higher demand is actually going to make you more money in the long term. So that's a second one. The third one is education, right? Education to learn a new skill can absolutely have really big returns. Sometimes it can have exponential returns for the amount that you invested. Or maybe you're investing in an advertising campaign where you're investing $1,000 and that can turn into $2,000 worth of sales. So that is intentional reinvestment. That is putting your money towards something that you expect will make you back your money or more, and preferably more, right? The intention of reinvesting is not just to make back our money, it's to make additional money. So there are lots of different examples in this, but it really is important to have a plan and be intentional so that you can move past that ceiling, right? So that you can continue to grow and scale your business. And that is going to be critical to meeting your long-term financial goals, right? Sometimes we get a little too short-sighted. We cut all the expenses rather than investing in the things that are going to help us, and then we get stuck. So a lot of people that I know don't invest in, let's say, a bookkeeper or someone to help them with their finances. But because they have decided not to invest in that because they see it as an expense, right? Now they don't have accurate financial statements, or if they do have accurate financial statements to make decisions off of, they themselves as the business owner are spending way too much time working on that side of their business when really they need to be doing only the things that they can do that actually help to grow their business and their profit in the long term. So we have to stop focusing so much on the short-term costs, the short-term maybe cash flow, and make decisions based on the long-term if we want to truly grow and scale our business. But the question is, how do we do that, right? How do we get this money in the first place to be able to intentionally invest when it feels like we're just churning through money in our business? How in the world are we going to have the money to be able to set aside, which is something that I teach in Financial Fitness Formula, setting aside a portion of your money, a portion of your profits intentionally into an opportunity fund that allows you to then have that money waiting when an opportunity that is going to help you invest into your business comes along. Okay, but how do we make that extra money? Well, the first thing we need to do is maximize our profit and really optimize our P&L. And that comes down to finances. That comes down to understanding your finances, making strategic decisions around things like pricing and profit margins and costs. It means making strategic decisions around which products you offer and which you don't. All of those things factor into the amount of profit that is then available to you to be able to use for yourself, to pay yourself, but also to reinvest back into your business. Now, y'all know I'm a numbers person, so I don't want to just talk theoretically about this because I think sometimes we lose the gravity of what I'm talking about and the potential impact when we talk theoretically. So I actually made a worksheet, and you could only get this worksheet if you were part of our annual planning workshop, which is done and gone, so you can't get this now, but I will show you how it works just to give you an idea of the power of reinvesting back into your business. So what I'm going to show you right here, when you look at this screen, you can see this is our ROI worksheet talking about the levers of profitability, which is something that I teach, essentially different levers you can pull to increase your profit, because there are levers, there are strategies, and no, they're not just cutting all your costs or raising your prices or selling more. There are other strategies there. And what I have put in here is an example of somebody who perhaps has a 30% profit margin, right? They're making $100,000. They make about 200 sales across all their different products that all cost different amounts. So the average sale is $500. Now, again, they may have different things that they're selling at different price points, but we're just averaging it out for the purpose of this calculator. Then we're putting in their total business expenses. Let's say it's about $70,000. So they're netting, again, before paying themselves and before taxes, $30,000. So a 30% profit margin for this person. Okay, well, how do we make more money? At this point, this person's probably saying, how in the world am I going to get more money to reinvest in my business? I'm only making $30,000 at the end of the day. Well, I'll show you how, right? So when you actually spend some time going through these levers, again, these are levers that I teach in Financial Fitness Formula, my signature program. I'll get to that here in a minute. But when you actually put some time into looking at the different things that you do control, and you make just little tweaks. We're not talking about doubling prices or anything like that. Let's say we add 2% to our revenue per transaction, the average revenue per transaction, okay? Just 2% in this case. And let's say we're able to cut our ongoing expenses. We're not talking about these reinvestments, but ongoing expenses to run our business by 2%. Again, not a lot. And you'll notice I have included 0 extra sales. This is the exact same amount of sales you were making before. Okay, so now this person goes from having $500 to $510 as their average amount of the sale, and they've decreased just by $1,400, by 2% of their expenses. That's gives them an extra $3,400 a year. Not bad, right? Not bad. I mean, that increases their profit margin by 3%. Still not huge though. You're probably still saying, yeah, but how are we going to make that into real money that's actually going to be sustainable? Well, let's think about this for a second, because again, this is just very tiny little tweaks we're talking about. We could probably do a heck of a lot more than this, but tiny little tweaks. Let's say that tiny little tweak, right? Let's say you now have gone to $17,000 over 5 years, right? That's taking the $3,400 times 5. You'd have $17,000 more over a 5-year time span. Yeah, okay, it's all right. That's decent. But what else can we do? How can we make more? So if we come here, you can see that if we reinvest a portion now when it says see assumptions below, the assumptions I've used in here is that this $3,400, we are going to pay ourselves half of it. So we're going to pay ourselves an extra $1,700. So on top of the $30,000 we normally make, we're going to make another $1,700. And then that other half, that $1,700, is going to get reinvested back into our business in something that we expect to generate a 100% return, meaning we expect for our money to double. We're maybe putting it into an advertising campaign, or we're hiring a salesperson and we expect them hopefully to make double what their cost is, or we're putting it into an educational program that we expect to double over the long period of time, right? And sometimes that can only be a couple of months, sometimes it's a year, sometimes it's more. But again, it's a short period of time. So we're expecting within a year, let's say, for the purpose of what we're doing here, it to double. And again, some people might even be able to triple that money. So we're using fairly conservative examples here, but you can see that if we reinvest using those specific assumptions, that's $105,000 in 5 years. That's a heck of a lot more, right? We just took making tiny little tweaks, these tiny little 2% tweaks, and turned it into $105,000 in 5 years. So I want you to think about that and remember the power of reinvesting. And if we decide to make these even bigger, let's say we did 5%, maybe we did 2% increase in volume, but we're going to still keep our ongoing expenses. We're only going to cut 2%. We're not going to go crazy with that. Now we're talking about $8,500 a year in extra cash. If we reinvest half of it into something we expect to double, and we keep half of it, over 5 years, we're going to have an extra $263,000. This is extra, in addition to what we otherwise would have had. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. So I just want you to think about the power of reinvestment and what you're missing. There's an opportunity cost to not investing in your business. And there's an opportunity cost to waiting. So let's say we just waited 1 year. 1 year, we decided not to make any of these changes for 1 year. We did the exact same thing. Next year, we made these changes. How much are we missing out on? If you wait 1 year, you'd only have $127,000 after 5 years. That means your 5-year cost of waiting is $136,000 using this scenario, right? Using this example. So obviously it's going to depend on what your financial situation is, but in this scenario, you can see the power. And why is this the case? You might be wondering, like, wait a second, but that's only $8,500. Just waiting 1 year to make some tweaks to my P&L can be that impactful. And the reason is compound interest. The earlier you start, the bigger difference it makes, the longer you have to compound. So that extra year of compounding that you are missing has a massive impact over the long term. So I want you to just keep that in your mind every time you think, oh, I'll do this next year. And obviously for me, I'm a little bit biased as far as what a good thing to invest in is, but I believe that before you start investing in things like hiring or in things like assets or in things like advertising campaigns to drive more sales, the best thing that you can do first is to work on optimizing your P&L. And that's this work we just did here, right? That's looking and making those strategic financial decisions and making sure that we're making as much profit off of every sale that we can. When you do that first, then you are set up to be able to scale your business. And when you do reinvest that money, you have the capacity to grow. So that's why the financial is so important to put first. And yet we try to put it last. We try to just push it off and maybe next year I'll handle that. This is the year. 2023 is the year year, I want you to handle this. I want you to put finances first. I want you to be a boss when it comes to finance. And so if you're ready to make these tweaks, if you're ready to maximize your profit and reinvest back into your business to start this growth process now, not kick the can down another year, if you're ready, I want you to come join me in Financial Fitness Formula. It is open for only 2 more days if you're watching this when this video comes out. So this video is coming out on Tuesday, January the 31st. We are closing on Thursday, February 2nd, 2023. We only open this program once a year. This program is all about maximizing profit without extra hustle. It's a little bit of time investment, of course, into doing the program itself, but we expect that the reinvestment opportunity is massive. And we've seen it time and time and time again from people who have gone through this program and told us how much it changed things for them, how much more profit they made, how much more they were able to pay themselves, and how much more confident they felt with their finances. So this is a program, this is my baby. I go through the program with you for 10 weeks. Okay, we do Q&As twice a week. We have an amazing community that comes together. We talk about mindset all the way through to, the actual numbers. I give you tons and tons of resources, worksheets, guides, checklists, all the things you need in your business. It's not just about education. We need to have the resources that we can use. And then we get all the way even to forecasting. So you will make a 5-year forecast for your business at the end of this, and you will have the exact map to where you want to go and how to get there. All right, so I am a big fan of this, but don't miss it. This is literally the end. If you're watching this after February 2nd, 2023, we're not opening doors again until 2024, so make sure to get on our wait list. But either way, go to jamietrull.com/FFF. Okay, if it's by February 2nd, you will be able to enroll. We have some amazing bonuses. I talk all about the program there. Go check that out. But if it's after that period of time, make sure to join the wait list so that you know the next time that we open doors. Because again, we only open doors for about a week every year. That is it. Because I commit to going through this with my students to make sure that you guys get the best results possible. So let me know what questions you have. I'm so excited that you were here, and I hope you decide to take this journey with me in 2023, and I will see you next time.